Are you lazy or just potentially on the bridge of burnout? In this episode, I'm going to be going through 5 of the different symptoms of burnout to help you distinguish the difference between if you are just being lazy or if you're on the edge of burning yourself out. The first one is autopilot. Are you just doing your life on autopilot? You're so checked out, you're clocked off mentally, physically, and emotionally, and it just feels like you're going on the day-to-day movements and you're just completely detached from everything. You wake up, you're on that Groundhog Day, you're on the hamster wheel, you wake up, you do the same thing, and there's no real attention or energy on the tasks or even the days at hand. Everything just feels mundane and you're just on autopilot. Chances are, if this is you, you are experiencing a symptom of burnout because most lazy people are quite aware of the things that they're actually doing. They just know that they don't want to be doing it, and they're often thinking of ways to get out of that thing and to just go and do something else that's going to give them an instant hit of dopamine. Number 2 is losing motivation. So here's the thing, if you were once extremely motivated, if you had all this motivation, all this energy to tackle tasks, to build your business, to work on your dreams, and now you're suddenly not motivated anymore, you're super uninspired by it, and you just do the task at hand to just get it done, then chances are you could be experiencing signs of burnout as well. Because here's the thing, most lazy people never actually experience motivation to begin with. They're not usually motivated to do anything substantial. They're not really motivated to strive for more, to climb up a ladder, to get their goals, to accomplish things, to achieve things. So if you once had the motivation and now all of a sudden it's gone, then chances are you may be on the bridge of also burning out or experiencing some of these symptoms. Number 3 is a loss of passion. If you've suddenly lost a lot of passion for the thing that you are doing or the things that you're doing, where you once had passion, you had this inspiration, you had this burning desire inside of you to actually get things done, and now all of a sudden your daily tasks or the business you're building or the tasks you're doing just seem like they're this absolute freaking burden on you, and the thought of doing them makes you want to stab your eyeballs out, then chances are you also might be experiencing some of these symptoms. Because eventually what happens here, for the people who start to just lose passion and they're experiencing burnout and they keep doing the thing over and over and over and over, and they're losing the passion, they're losing the inspiration, they eventually start to actually resent the work that they're doing. They resent whatever it was that actually used to give them passion, because they've been pushing the pendulum so far one way and not allowing it to swing back the other way for them to rest and recover or to actually enjoy the fruits of their labor. If you're someone who's working so hard all the time on the thing that you were once passionate about, but you never actually slow down and give yourself time to celebrate or eat the fruits of your labor, or to actually acknowledge the fact of how far you've come, then you don't give yourself that inner feeling of greatness. You don't give yourself that dopamine feeling, that chance to actually celebrate the victory and reinforce why you're even doing it to begin with. If you don't give yourself that ever, and you're always just on, trying to get to that next thing, eventually it's going to lay you into this position where you just feel absolutely defeated. You got no passion left, and you get start to resent the tasks at hand. So if this is you, make sure that you're actually stopping along the journey to celebrate little tiny wins and to acknowledge yourself of the things that you've already accomplished and how far you've come, because this is actually going to give you that little internal boost of dopamine and make you feel good. And it's going to sort of say to yourself inside, it's going to say that the journey is absolutely worth it. What's up, Dream Nation? Have you ever wondered how far ahead your life would have already been if you had got access to this type of content at a younger age? Look, this is why I need your help. I'm trying to build the #1 personal development platform out there to teach you guys the tips, tricks, and attitude of what it takes to live your dream life, and to bring the type of education that we all wish we had in school. This show only grows by word of mouth and new subscribers, so it would mean the world to me if you could smash that subscribe button right now, leave us a 5-star written review, or drop a comment below and share this episode with a friend. I would be forever grateful. All right, now let's get back into this episode. Sign number 4 is you're overly emotional. I remember one time when I was on the brink of burning out, and one day I was sitting on the couch and I just had this overwhelming feeling of just emotions come through my body, and I started to just cry. And I had no freaking idea why, what was happening, but I just felt completely defeated. And it was just this emotional roller coaster. But then about an hour later, I was okay again, but I was just feeling like completely off. Now, so if you're someone who has these experiences of just complete emotional outbursts, or perhaps you get angry or you get frustrated really easy, and you have these outbursts of emotion that you know were completely unnecessary, and you start to just break down for no reason at all, then chances are you may also be experiencing signs of burnout, not just being lazy. Because often lazy people, the one emotion they often feel is just peace and joy, because they often avoid anything that will give them feelings of stress, frustration, pain, growth, or anything like this, because they'll avoid things that make them feel uncomfortable. They'll do things that are comfortable all the time. So if you're experiencing anything like breakdowns or emotional outbreaks or anything like this, chances are it's more on the burnout sign, not just being lazy. And the fifth one is lack of self-care. This is down to the little tiny things like just getting enough sleep, drinking water daily, eating a good diet, and going to the gym. If you once had a good self-care regime, it doesn't have to be fantastic. One time you had some sort of care about your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health, and now you suddenly don't. Chances are this is also a symptom, because lazy people to begin with don't ever actually value their health, period. They tend to always want to do things that make them just feel comfortable. They don't want to do things that stretch them, that push them. So they're not usually going to go to the gym or have a solid gym routine. So if you once had this amazing morning routine, this nighttime routine, you did your ice baths, you went to the gym, and it's become one of those things where it's like, I'll do it when I have the time, then chances are you've been putting yourself under this tremendous amount of stress where it doesn't feel like you're ever good enough, getting close enough, and it's just not happening for you yet. And you start to sacrifice the things that you actually know you need to do because you feel like you don't have the time or the energy to actually do them. There's so many different signs and symptoms of burning out, and it is a super, super real thing, trust me. But there's a fine line of being lazy and experiencing signs and symptoms. So if you are experiencing any of those signs right now, chances are you may be experiencing signs of burnout. But if you're watching this right now and you've gotten to the point where it hasn't gone too far, there's still time for you to actually reverse this and do the proper work. Because here's the thing, a real athlete or a real performer, a real entrepreneur, someone who is a true high achiever in life can only perform at the level that they can on the field because of what they do with their bodies and their recovery when they're off the field. Trust me, with all the hustle culture and all the shit that's out there on the internet right now, there's nothing cooler than happily achieving than achieving to be happy. Don't sacrifice your health or anything like this in the short term to hopefully achieve something in the long term, because I tell you what, if you slow down a little bit more now, you're gonna get a lot more done in the long term, and it's gonna be a lot more freaking enjoyable. So if you got value out of this video and you want me to actually do another episode on how to get out of burnout or how to actually avoid it completely, and how you can actually achieve massive results in your life, perform really high every single day, build a life by design, and avoid burnout completely, then let me know in the comments below or message me on Instagram at Morgan T. Nelson, and I'll do an episode. But until then, guys, do all the things, subscribe, like, do all those sorts of shit, send it. We drop so many value on this channel every single week for you guys to learn the tips, tricks, and attitude of what it takes to live your dream life. That being said, I love and appreciate you. Until the next episode, dream out loud.